Hi, you've just purchased a Japanese knife. I should say a very expensive Japanese knife, and you want to know how you can take care of this beauty. So I have 5 very important tips that in my opinion will help you keep your knife sharp and lasting for a long time. My name's Eugene and I've worked in professional kitchens for over 30 years, and me and my team switched over to Japanese knives about 15 years ago. And we found that the steel was just so much better and the knife performed more precisely and lasted longer. So with these 5 tips I'm going to show you how to keep your knife sharp and lasting for a long time, perhaps even forever. Thank you. Okay, I want to go over some of the different style knives that I have here. These are some of the more common knives that are used in North American kitchens. This is a Wagyoto. It's probably the most common knife used in North American kitchens. This is a Bunka. It's a recent acquisition. I like this knife a lot. This is a Nigiri. Now, Nigiri is a Chinese style knife. Obviously, this one is made by a Japanese knife maker. And the nice thing about the Nigiri is that it's a little wider, so if you're a little skittish about the knife going along your finger, especially a really sharp knife, this might be a better option for you because it just feels safer. And this is a petty. Now, the first tip that I want to tell you about is that if you're using a small item like garlic, use a small knife like a petty. A medium-sized item, use a medium-sized knife. Seems obvious, but a lot of the young cooks that I see make that mistake. Also, I want to mention that there's 3 different style boards here. This is a maple board. It's the most common board in North American kitchens. This is a cedar board, most often used by Japanese cooks. And this is a new acquisition. It's a cork board, and all of these 3 boards have different characteristics, and I'm going to go over that a little later when I do chopping demonstration. The most important thing about chopping is you're going to hold your hand in a claw kind of position. The knife is going to go up against. You want to tuck your nail in so the knife doesn't have a chance of grabbing your nail. When I started out in cooking school in France, the first day, this is what they taught you. You grab the knife, hold it by the blade, put the edge of the knife down on the board, and you go through the elements like this in a rocking motion. And then the other way, so you get a consistent chop like this. Now, this is the other style of chopping that is most commonly used in North American kitchens today. And this is more of an Asian style. So you just go through like this. Instead of putting the edge of the knife, the tip of the knife down on the board, you go with the knife like this in that sort of motion. You notice that I don't go straight down like guillotine. There is a movement to the knife in both styles of cutting. So going like that. The advantage to this style is that it's a lot faster and looks a lot more modern. Now, the tip that I want to tell you about is, number 1, when you're chopping, if your knife is sharp, you don't have to use a lot of weight. You don't have to bang the board really hard. And the other part of this, and the most important part, is when you're moving the product away, move it away with your hand. Don't scrape with your knife. If you scrape with your knife, the Japanese knife is very thin on the edge. It'll actually fold the edge over. So to me, this is the most important tip that you're going to get about chopping techniques with the Japanese knife. Now, I just want to go over briefly what it's like to chop with the cedar board. The knife doesn't slide as easily on the board, especially if the knife is really sharp. So it has a tendency of stopping, but apparently this is a lot better for your knife to use a softer wood. But it takes a little bit of getting used to. But it does feel good on the knife. The other board that I want to show you is this cork board that I just got from Tosho. This is obviously a lot softer, and the knife has less of a tendency of sliding than even on the cedar. So it's probably a lot better for the knife in the long run. It feels very different, but as you can see, the result is pretty good. Now the other nice thing about this board is it's small and it's beveled, so you can pick it up and put your product directly into a pot. The other advantage to this board is you can wash it. I wouldn't recommend washing the cedar board. I would prefer scraping it. So that's another advantage to it. Now this is the third tip that I want to tell you about. You see a lot of North American chefs and European chefs use the steel on the knife. Now I don't recommend using a steel on a Japanese knife. The purpose of the steel is to realign the edge. It's not to sharpen the knife. You're just realigning the edge. Now what I used to use, and you still use that, is a porcelain rod. It's a lot better for your Japanese knife, and you use it like this. Stand your rod up and you get your angle right, and you go down like this. However, I find that there's a better method, and this is a leather strap on a wooden block, and I got this at Tosho as well. So to determine your angle, you put your knife down on the strap, and you lift the knife up and try to grab your nail. Once the nail is not grabbing anymore, you know that you've got the right angle. So the movement to realign the edge with the leather strap is like this. All you need is like maybe 3 passes and you're done. Now to tell whether or not the knife is sharp, you can do the paper test, which is a very good test for a knife. It should slide through very easy. Now the interesting thing about this paper test is if you have a nick in the knife, you'll be able to feel it going through the paper. It should be just one smooth, sharp movement. Okay? Now this is the fourth tip that I want to tell you about. The boards that I've shown you and the knives that I've shown you should never be used with meat or to bone pieces of chicken or anything. The knife is only the knife and the board actually is only meant for vegetables. If you're going to do fish or chicken, use a boning knife and use it on a smaller plastic board that you can put in a dishwasher. Only vegetables for this. Now, the other thing about the board is you want the board to be flat. And the way to test this is you can put a straight edge on your board to see if there's any light coming in the middle here. You know that your board is not flat. So you can plane out the edges a little bit to flatten your board. After each use, I use cabinet scrapers that you can find in any fine hardware stores, and this is the way it works. Actually, it's flat like ice skates. So to sharpen this, you just put this on the edge of a 300 grit stone and sharpen it this way. And you run it along the edge. You'll notice that there's a lot of wood particles that are coming off. You're actually scraping the surface of the wood, and your board with a few passes will be clean. Final tip that I want to tell you about is after each use, you wipe your knife down with a cloth and make sure it's dry, and then you store it so that the edge is not touching another knife or it's not on top of another knife. So store your knife so the edge is protected. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope it was helpful. And just remember that chopping is a very important skill that you have in a kitchen. It's probably a very important life skill as well. Take care of your knife and practice. Make your gesture elegant and enjoy the process. I hope to see you in another video soon.